After how in-depth, raw and emotional the first episode of Undertaker, The Last Ride proved to be, everyone in the wrestling community hotly awaited the arrival of the second episode, and it was absolutely worth that wait. Shining a further light on his personal life, showcasing his struggle to get back to in-ring shape, and showcasing interviews that truly shocked the industry to its core, this documentary series is sure to go down as one of the best WWE has ever produced. And, much like last time, we are here to inform you on anything you may have missed from the show. So let's not waste any more time. I'm Daniel from Sportskeeda Wrestling, and here are 5 interesting things we learned from Undertaker The Last Ride, Chapter 2. Starting us off at number 5, his relationship with Michelle McCool. One topic that has always remained elusive around the modern day life of Mark Calaway is his relationship and subsequent marriage with former WWE Divas Champion Michelle McCool. However, the second episode of the show details more on how they came together and how their relationship works in day-to-day life. Stating that he knew he wanted to be with her as soon as he saw her throw a football at a SmackDown TV taping, it is clear that Mark Calaway couldn't be happier with his marriage and life, stating that, "I don't know how that woman does it. The amount of panic and worry I put her through, and yet she wakes up every day with a smile on her face, she's incredible," goes a long way in showing their connection. Likewise, Michelle herself is full of admiration, love and affection for Calaway, stating that it's the home life stuff that we fans don't get to see that she loves most. Going on to say how Taker can be kind, caring, thoughtful, romantic and funny, they do seem to be the perfect couple. It must be said, however, that there is clear worry from Michelle's side, numerous times mentioning how she feels he should stop competing as it means he would be able to spend more time with his family and be far safer for them. Regardless, this little glimpse into the home life of an icon further brings us into the reality that, whilst The Undertaker is this untouchable being, Mark Calaway is a happy family man. Number 4. PRIMO trained Undertaker for his WrestleMania match with John Cena. The single most surprising part of the documentary series so far is who Undertaker trained with in order to prepare himself for his WrestleMania 34 match against John Cena. There could be so many greats: the King of Kings Triple H, the Devil's favourite demon Kane, Mr. WrestleMania himself in Shawn Michaels. But no, it was none of them. Apparently, the dead man really liked the idea of going on holiday to an island as, almost inexplicably, his training partner was Primo Colon. Yes, one half of Puerto Rico's greatest tag teams, the Shining Stars. Primo helped Calaway train and get ready for the grandest stage of them all. Taker stated, "Primo is fantastic in the ring and, with his speed, it's really useful to get a different style of training instead of just running the ropes." It's clear that Primo has huge respect from the dead man and of course shouldn't be laughed at for this fact. It's just definitely a shock to the system that he was the one chosen. But hey, I guess Puerto Rico truly is the shining star of the Caribbean for Primo. Not that it's easy to imagine Undertaker joining him there. Number 3. More on his relationship with Vince McMahon. As we mentioned in our previous video, the relationship between Vince McMahon and The Undertaker is an incredibly strong one, but this episode puts a larger focus on it. We see multiple wrestlers discuss how they have experienced the Vince/Mark Calaway relationship through their eyes, with many comparing it to a father and son type of bond. We then hear the interviewer ask Vince himself what the dead man means to him. We then see Vince McMahon, a man who prides himself on his composure, become tearful and unable to speak, before simply stating, "Nope, can't do that." The bond between these two men is undeniable. Taker himself, when speaking to camera, explains how during the 1990s, Vince pulled him out of a dark place with tough love in a way that, if anyone else had tried, Undertaker would have knocked them out. But the connection they have together goes a long way in understanding why Undertaker has been trusted with so much within World Wrestling Entertainment. Number 2, he hated his match against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. The second episode of the documentary starts where the first ended, immediately following his WrestleMania match with Roman Reigns. Just under a month after that match took place, Undertaker received hip surgery to repair his left hip, which had been troubling him for several years. After the surgery was a success and the pain was entirely gone, he finally watched back his match with Roman at that year's Mania. During this, we see him physically grimace whenever he hits a move on screen, states that he looks tired, old and out of shape, and he actually looks away during the botched tombstone spot. It is clear for all to see that Taker takes extreme pride in his matches, and any that do not meet his level, he doesn't enjoy. Fast forwarding to the end of the episode and immediately following his match at WrestleMania 34 against John Cena, the dead man bumped into Roman and apologised, stating that it still bothers him and that Reigns deserved better. It is an insight into the mind of an established performer that you need to be at the top of your game at all times. And finally at number 1, his thoughts on his match with John Cena. The episode closes on his match against Cena at Mania 34 and is met with far happier feedback than his contest the year previous. However, whilst visibly relieved and delighted that he didn't have a repeat of the year before, the Phenom is clearly left wanting more, stating that "I trained for 40 but only got 5 and I just feel like I have more to give." It's immediately apparent Undertaker didn't get everything he wanted out of the contest. The match overall with Cena clearly leaves Taker with mixed emotions. On one hand, his peers and fans rejoiced as it was almost like watching The Undertaker of old, and Mark Calaway is clearly proud of that performance. However, on the other, there are elements of regret as he got into the best shape he'd been in the last few years and he didn't get to properly showcase it against a man who he views as a legend of the industry. There were plenty of other points to mention, so please don't miss this series so far. Head on over to the WWE Network to catch up with the first, second and all upcoming chapters of this incredible Undertaker The Last Ride documentary.